welcome back to Fiddle World. We had a request for Orange Blossom Special, so that's what we're going to be learning today. This is probably the most popular, most requested tune there is, or one of them, maybe tied with Devil Went Down to Georgia, I don't know. But it's a lot of fun to play, so I'm going to just go through the parts and so let's just go ahead and get started. This is in the key of A, and there are 3 sections, so A, B, and C. The first part is actually just a vamp over an E chord. So the guitarist or the rhythm section, they're just going to be playing a really fast E chord over and over. And there's usually a little intro, like, and then we take it away. So there are a lot of train sounds in this. So there's, the whistle, there's the bell, there's like chugga chugga kind of sounds and rhythms going on. So from the very beginning, we're going to be doing this sliding whistle sound. Probably the easiest way to do it is with 1-1 on the A and the D string, sliding into it. So low 1-1 to the regular. So sliding up and then down and then, and you'll notice do a little slide down at the end as well. And then we get to do a fun thing where we left hand pizzicato pluck. This is the bell sound with our pinky, and that just takes practice, building up pinky strength. It's pretty fun. So another way you could play that first chord is 1 and 3. So third finger is on G, and 1 is on B flat, and then slide into G sharp and B. And then the second phrase is, if you're doing 1-3, just slide up to third position. So just practice sliding up to it, and then just so that the note you're sliding into is a D and a B. So you're half step below that on the slide. And then you can just slide back down to that, maybe down to a 1-1. So that's the most important part probably, and then after that you can kind of do whatever you want in the key of E. So one fun thing is this other slidey thing that I'm not very good at, which is and that is just an E major arpeggio, so just an arpeggio and then doing a slide down on each one. And you can kind of do whatever you want with that, like just have fun with it. Doesn't have to be exactly how I played it in the video, but that's a fun thing. And then I usually do this lick. And that's just, but adding an open E drone. If you really accent with your bow speed. The good thing about this is you can slide so much into everything. You don't have to worry about intonation as much, or maybe I should, but I don't. So that's fun. And then this is a really fun but kind of tricky bow thing. But once you get it, it's super fun to do. So have your first finger on that chord. You keep pressing down, But with your bow, you're not going to be pressing down. You're going to just let it slide like this. And if you can see, I'm doing that with my fingers. I'm pressing down a lot with this, with that finger, just so I don't drop the bow. And try to get that chugga 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 rhythm. I can't see. So it's kind of like just going horizontally. And then once you get that down, you can also add in the bell, plucking with your pinky while you're doing that. So that wasn't a good example, but and it also has a kind of accent the backbeat if you can. I don't know, it helps me to like nod my head to get the accent. So that's a fun lick to do. Another thing that is really fun is so these are just, and these, if you accent the 2 and the 4 as well. It's a fun little lick, and then it's a 1 on A and then 2 on E. And then I just slide up. You could go, but I just go. Do the drop off slide. So you're just doing this chord. So just 6ths up there. And then so that's a 1 on G, 3rd finger on D, A and G, and then just sliding down a half step. I really like that one. This is another. So that's landing on a G sharp and a C, and then back to our staple 1-1 for the E chord. So that was just kind of a waterfall-y scale. Whoops. And then it's a fun one. Just kind of a bluesy thing. And then if I can even get these octaves into. So it's a G sharp octave, and then a B, and then F sharp, and then just haven't been practicing octaves enough apparently. Can't get them in tune. Let's just skip that one for now. But this next one is super fun. So get this chord, you're 1 on A and 3rd finger on the D string, that's 3rd position. So this is like a shuffle pattern. And then you just go down by half steps. So you might have noticed I'm going up and down. So that alternating open to, open to. And a good way to practice this is to first just go before you try the double shuffle. And also just practice going, sliding down by half step. So I love doing that one. Once you can get that that down, and I'll talk more about that shuffle pattern in a little bit because we're going to need it for the B part. You can also do this one. So that's just 1 and 1 on E. And then something like that. So it's a chromatic, you're going. Quotes or just random things in here. I've heard, The Simpsons or the Flintstones or classical pieces like Spring or Bach or pretty much anything in the key of E. So whatever kind of creative stuff you can come up with, just have fun with it. But there are a lot, just so many things you could do. Like so it's just an E. And then sliding with my 4. So I'm probably forgetting a lot of them that I meant to do, but I think that's a good place to start. Now we need to go on to the B part, which is the shuffle, that famous, that thing. So let's break it down. The simplest version of that. So the main thing is you're gonna have to play a lot of double stops in this part too. So it starts on an A chord. So after you do that walk down, I didn't even talk about that. This is the most important part of the first section is you have to do a lead-in to this shuffle part so that the people who are playing with you know that they're done playing the E chord going on to the next section. So you have to do some kind of walk down to an A. Something like that. I usually go so that's just this that same one we do at the beginning, and then I'm just doing a double stop. I can't get it in tune, but leaving the 1 down on the D and then 4, 3, 2, 1 on the G. So you don't have to do the double stop. that's just so 1 1 3 1 3, and then 1 1, then 1 and 3. And then a slide on a 1 and then a 3. And then up on a 3. So 2 downs and then 1 up. Skip over that important part. So this shuffle part. So the first chord is an A. For 2 bars, we're going to be playing an A shuffle. And we can start with just this regular shuffle. Long, short, short, long, short, short. We'll get to the double shuffle in a minute. So I have a 1 on D and a 3rd finger on G. That 1 on the D and let your bow touch open A for the 2 faster notes. Then you're gonna put your 4 down and your on the D, on the G, and your 2 down on the D. And just let your bow touch that open A for the faster notes. Same thing. Then you're gonna go 3 on D, 1 on A. And that's actually the same finger that you're playing for the first one. You're just moving it up a string, so just, and then the next one is, so you're going 3 and 1, 2 and 4, 3 and 1, 2 and 4. So the first chord A, second chord D, 3rd chord E, and then an A again. So and then this is where I usually start the double shuffle. It's on the 4th one. And this, so you, if you haven't learned that double shuffle stroke yet, it's 2 times on the bottom string, 1 time on the upper string, with 1 left over. So the last lower string one will only play once. Also important to accent the upper string. It's just a little bow speed, maybe some weight with your index finger. And that takes up 2 measures, so if you're counting. And then another fun thing is we're not just going to do open E, we're going to have our 1 go up and down. So it's open 1, open 1. And then once you're already going with that double shuffle, we're going to continue doing that. So we're basically playing those same chords again, but with shuffle now. So, and you can do, instead of just, you can do the thing where it's open 2, open 2. See how it's up and down? And then for the next one, you can do the same thing. So you get that same chord, but you can go open 1, open 1. And then 1, 3. This one you can do open 2. And that's the end of that part. So another thing you can do over the D chord, which is the second one, some people, instead of playing 4 and 2, do a C on the bottom. So it's third finger. Because that's the seventh. C is the seventh of D, so kind of sounds bluesy. And then you can also do this fun thing. So it's open, 1, 1. So you're actually with your 1 going. So it's 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. So 1, we have to use our 1 because we're already using our 2 for something else. And that one, to work on the intonation, I would just practice that. And that 1 goes right next to your 2, pushed up against it. So you could do that also when you're doing the regular, the D with your 4th finger. Either way, but that's really fun to do. So yeah, just practice, the double stops. And then practice the bow strokes separately, See how little you can move your bow between the string crossings. Middle of the bow as well is probably the best. It's 5 times on the upper string if you're counting. And just remember those last 2 are just, so we don't do 2 on the bottom for the last one. All right, so now we have come to the last section. This is the famous melody. This is really fun to play. Thing that happens with me is that I play the shuffle part so fast that by the time I get to this part, I can't play this part as fast as that. So my bow and fingers get tripped up, but I've been working on it. So the basic melody and chords of this part. So it starts, I should also mention that it's 16 bars of this. So 16 bars of the B part, which is the, and then 16 bars of this, which is the C part. And of course the first part over the E chord is just however long you feel like. So 16 bars of this. We're gonna have 3 bars of A. So it's just kind of a little scale thing. And you do that 3 times. And then it goes to an E chord. Or, so, sorry, my phone keeps running out of space. What was I saying? Oh yeah, slur 2 separate. I find that works well for playing this part fast. Or, so that's gonna be where we go to the E chord. And it's 4 bars of E total, I think. That's the next part. And then back to A chord. So let me play that whole part. So there's a lot of stuff you can do on the, like, some triplets, or something you could do as well. So I'm just having my 1 on the A. And then back to, so that was 3 bars of A chord, and then now we're on a D chord. it's 2 bars of D, 1 bar of A, and then 1 bar of E, and then ends on an A chord. So all of that together takes up 16 measures. So let me just say that one more time. 3 bars of A, 4 bars of E, 4 bars of A, 2 bars of D, 1 bar of A, 1 bar of E, 1 bar of A. So once we get to that D chord, kind of do this tag thing. So let me start on the second half. You could also do that. So let me play that whole part one more time. Notice I was doing that slur two separate bowing for almost the whole thing. So there are other things you could do, like instead of, sometimes I go, or, so just starting on an E and going down. That's where I was throwing in that Vivaldi spring. And then here you could go. Something like that. So this chord and then sliding down. And then the last thing is a tag at the end, which you can do whatever you want. Or just ending on that A. So something like that, a little way to finish it off. So hopefully this helps you on your Orange Blossom Special journey. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have a request or a question, feel free to let me know, and I will do my best to get to it.